Before we get into any of the actual coding, I just thought I'd run through what I've actually set up in terms of my development environment here. Now, obviously, you're free to use any development environment you wish. You might have something totally different, and that is fine. The only thing you'll need is the ability to run some PHP files. You'll need access to a SQL database and obviously a browser so you can see what's going on. Now here I've chosen MAMP. It's very popular with Mac users. You can see I have my Apache server running here. Here I have my Finder and I've got my server folder set up here. In the background you can see I've got the index showing here. Now obviously this server would not be publicly accessible normally, but I am using a local host environment here, so I'm not live on the net. Now over here I've got my database, so I've got a database set up called Coding Academy, but there are no tables in there. Now we'll do that throughout the course. Now in terms of my code editor, I do like to use Visual Studio Code. It is a beautiful program to use, highly recommended, but again, as I say, you can use any development environment you wish. Now looking at Code Anywhere, you can see I have this server folder open. And the first thing I want to do is to create 4 files within this server. Now I'm going to create a folder first, and the folder I'm going to create is www, and that is going to sit within the server. So I'll just move that in there. So you can imagine this is a server on the net, and this www folder is one that is publicly accessible. Now in that folder here, I'm going to create 3 files. The first one is going to be my index.php. So index.php. I'm going to create one for my styles.css. So style.css. My third one is going to be one called getStates.php. So getStates.php. Now what's going to happen with that one? In my index.php file, I'm going to select from my country dropdown. I'm going to send the selected country to the getStates.php file, which is then going to connect to the database and return the states for that particular country. Now to connect to the database, I do need a configuration file. Now if I go back one to my root folder here, my server folder, this is where I'm going to place my db-config file. So it's not going in my publicly accessible folder, and that's just for a little bit of additional security. So I'll click on there and I'll call this one db-config.php, and in there, as I said, I'll place my configuration files. So just as a quick recap, I've shown you the system that I've got installed, and as I say, you can use any system you wish. If I just shoot back here to Finder, you can now see that this is my server. I have my publicly accessible folder with the 3 files in there, and here is my db-config file. If you found this lesson useful, then remember to give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to be notified about future lessons. Details about all the available courses can be found in the description, or you can visit the website at coding.academy.